We start tonight with gun violence on Indy's West Side that took a woman's life. Our Alex Almanza talked with police and a woman who says one of her family members may have been involved.
Onlookers at the Carriage House West Apartments are spending Saturday afternoon surrounded by crime scene tape. Dozens of Speedway and IMPD squad cars line the streets. A woman has been shot and killed.
This affects an entire community when something like this happens.
Police got a call just before 4:30 for shots fired near 10th and Lyndhurst. When officers got here, they found a woman with gunshot wounds. She was taken to a hospital where she later died. Several people were taken into custody, though police have not identified a suspect.
We don't know their role in this incident yet. Detectives are on scene now, and they'll be out here for the next several hours.
Police say it all started as a disturbance between known individuals. One woman we spoke with didn't want to give out too many details, but she believes one of her family members may have been detained.
We should have had a just at least got them together and handled this situation because again, it been getting worse over the time. The arguments and fights have been getting worse.
She believes an argument may have started between a couple and escalated to involve both families. She believes that argument escalated into gunfire, but police have not confirmed what led up to the shooting or the victim's relationship to those involved. Meanwhile, it's a message IMPD says it keeps repeating after violence like this.
Violence is not the answer. It is not the way to solve our problems. It doesn't solve the problem. If anything, it only creates other ones.
Now detectives are trying to figure out who is responsible. In Indianapolis, Alex Almanza, 13 News.
There's extra security tonight at a church festival in Greenwood after a shooting there Friday night. Police say it happened at the Our Lady of the Greenwood Festival. Investigators say it started as an argument between groups of teenagers. Then they say a 16-year-old from Indianapolis pulled a gun and fired multiple shots toward the ground. At least one bullet struck another teen in the foot. We talked with a witness today who heard the gunfire and saw the victim.
And all of a sudden I hear I think 5 gunshots and everyone starts screaming. And I see a guy, it was a young teenager. He was standing on the ground with blood on his legs. I think he was the one that got shot.
Now, police say off-duty officers saw the shooting as well and apprehended the suspect. That suspect now being held in juvenile detention. Right now, there is a manhunt underway in Ohio after a mass shooting near Toledo. At least a dozen people injured by gunfire. Happened around 5:30 tonight during the first night of a 2-day festival. 12 people were shot and taken to the hospital. 2 people are in critical condition. The oldest victim is 61, the youngest just 14. And the search is on now for suspects. Festival organizers have canceled events there for tomorrow. Well, new tonight, Plainfield police need your help finding a missing child. They say the 6-year-old black male wandered off from his home near East County Road 100 South and South Raceway Road tonight. That's by Grace Point Church of the Nazarene. The little boy was last seen just about 90 minutes ago. He was wearing a black or red t-shirt, black or red shorts, and no shoes. Police are asking those who live in this area to check their property and call 911 if you have any information or if you've seen him. Tonight, Indiana Democrats have their nominee for Secretary of State. Bo Bai will be running in November. This decision came after delegates from across the state gathered downtown for the Indiana Democratic Convention. Our 13 News State House reporter Emily Longnecker was there.
Yeah, delegates had 2 choices going in today for the Democratic nominee for Secretary of State. You had Bo Bai, who came into this race with the benefit of a family name that's long known in Indiana politics. He's an attorney. He's also a United States Marine. And then there was a Blythe Potter, also a military veteran, a mom, a small business owner, who positioned herself as a grassroots candidate, going to all 92 counties to meet delegates. In the end, though, it was Bo Bai who emerged as the winner.
It took about 2 hours for close to 2,300 delegates to make their decision.
For Secretary of State, Bo Bai, 1,385 votes, 61.07%.
Before the delegates cast their votes, both Bai and Potter spoke about their vision for the Secretary of State's office should they be the Democratic nominee and go on to win in November.
I believe that politicians should be serving their communities. So let's turn this into a customer service job.
We will safeguard the integrity of our elections and strengthen confidence in our democracy.
Bai expanded on that idea after winning the nomination.
When I'm in office, there will be a zero tolerance policy for any illegal voting, and those that we find who are breaking the law will be prosecuted to the full extent of it.
The race for Secretary of State has become the contest to watch on both sides of the aisle, with the Republican Party divided over its incumbent. Secretary of State Diego Morales has faced pressure from some members of his own party to leave the race, following a series of controversies and investigations tied to his time in office. Morales has declined to do that, saying he'll see the delegates later this month. The Republican field of candidates has now grown to 5. Just last month, Max Engling, a top aide to Senator Jim Banks, joined the race. Since then, several Republicans have gotten behind Engling. If Bai's concerned about Engling winning the nomination, he didn't show it fresh off his own victory Saturday.
He's a part of the same system that produced Diego Morales.
But even without knowing yet who his opponent will be, Bai says he'll be back on the campaign trail Monday.
We got to be everywhere. We got to talk to everyone. We got to work really hard, and we got to reach out to people we may not always agree with on every issue.
And so we now know it's Bai who will face off against the Secretary of State candidate the Republicans choose at their convention in just a few weeks in Fort Wayne. We'll be there covering that vote, too. At the Indiana State Democratic Convention, Emily Longnecker, 13 News.
Former Republican Indianapolis Mayor Greg Ballard is seeking to run as an independent in the Secretary of State race. He issued a statement after Bai's nomination, saying in part, "I want to welcome Bai officially into the race. From his recent public statements, it's clear he agrees with me that Hoosiers need an independent leader in the Secretary of State's office, overseeing our elections." Unfortunately for him, Ballard continued, there's more to being an independent than just pretending not to be a Democrat. He's still beholden to the party insiders who just gave him the Democratic nomination. We should also mention at today's convention, Democrats also nominated Jessica Bailey for State Comptroller and Kumba Kebe for State Treasurer. Both were uncontested. Well, now to our exclusive interview with Governor Braun. Today, he spoke with Emily Longnecker about the Bears' likely move to Indiana and the criticism against it.
What's your response to folks, the people that, Prosperity Indiana critiqued this, people who say the money could be better spent on roads, schools, other local priorities?
So you're not going to, number one, I mentioned it earlier, there's not a state in better shape to be able to address early childhood learning, pre-K, stuff we need to do better at, public health, infrastructure, and this state government was run better than most other state governments, but all came through COVID off the wagon. Needed to get back running things, not based upon all that federal largesse that was borrowed and spent. A lot of local governments, school districts got used to that. I ask all our agencies to start running themselves more efficiently. We're getting a dividend, I can't stress this more than anything else, in just a year and a half that's going to be on running government more efficiently, maybe close to $1 billion a year. And when I reorganized Indiana Economic Development Corporation, we are now, in just a year and a half, growing faster, where we were closer to our peer group states, twice as fast as Illinois and Ohio, 3 times as fast as Kentucky, 6 times as fast as Michigan. And we got a lot of good things going on. I expect those to even get better. That's going to enable us to invest in a lot of different parts that we need to do better at. And we're already considered one of the best states in the country from everything that we're talking about.
Can you guarantee that Hoosiers won't be left holding the bag if the revenue doesn't materialize the way we think it's going to?
So then you do like you do in any business. You adjust and you find out ways to take whatever you have to work with, and just don't assume that there's not things you can do. And it's always going to be like it is in the real world. You've got 49 other competitors in terms of how states run, and some are going to do better than others. And my point all along, from the time I got involved in government, in politics, take the things that work in the real world, realize it is different, government from business, but the places that are being run, I think, with the concept And then with the sensitivity of knowing that there's a difference between the two, those are the states that are working best, where people are moving to because they're voting with their feet. Indiana is the only state in the northern half of the country that people are moving into, net migration in. You mostly hear that with Florida, Texas, and now Tennessee. And they have a lot of other attributes, weather, coastlines. We're getting it because it's a great place to raise a family, especially start a business that's reasonable when it comes to how the government treats its own people.
Now, when asked if he thinks the Bears will for sure end up in Hammond, Governor Braun today said his odds started at 50-50. Now they're more like 65-35. So, of course, a story we will continue to follow.
Keep watching it.
Yeah. Odds of rain kind of were up for some, down for others tonight.
Yeah, those that got rain were really seeing a lot of heavy rain.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we knew that was going to be the case. I mentioned it at 6 o'clock. I said those of you that do expect to see some showers, boy, you really got some. Let me show you some areas that we're still watching, even at this hour. Things are certainly improving, but boy, we've had so much rain for some of our northwestern counties, especially in the area around Covington and Petersburg. Boy, you've just received inches and inches of rain here. And yes, there were some flash flooding concerns. There's a flash flood warning that's still going to be in place until 1:30. Some of the radar estimates here have been 7 to 8 inches of rain. This is just within the last 12 hours or so. A couple of radar estimates there of some of those higher amounts just south of Covington of 8.5 inches of rain. Petersburg's also seen a lot of heavy rain here, and you can see that swath of rain. The orientation here is what we've seen with shower after shower after shower, thunderstorm after thunderstorm, bringing a lot of heavy rain. Several flash flood warning reports, also some severe weather reports from earlier in the day where we did have some of those stronger storms. And you can see that axis that I was talking about. Now, for the most part, this is going to quiet down. Doesn't mean it's going to be quiet completely. Could be a few showers and storms during the overnight, but most of this should start to settle down. The atmosphere is pretty worked over in those locations, and I think things are going to be quieting down a bit. We'll still leave scattered storms in the forecast for tonight. Unfortunately, we have to do this all over again for tomorrow, but I do think that the severe threat, the flooding threat, isn't nearly as high tomorrow as what it was today. We knew today things were going to be a little bit slow and sluggish. We still have that chance, especially as we get into the afternoon, of some afternoon thunderstorms driven by the heating of the day, and the heating of the day will put us back into the mid to upper 80s. This is a pattern that continues for really most of the 7-day forecast, but there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. I'll show you that coming up.